Yeah. Playa T, that's me. Hollywood in the hood. Money off your own intellectual property. But sooner or later, we're going to start teaching the different aspects of the law as well, and construction too. You know, so we got some great topics and some great training going down here at Hollywood in the Hood. And I think you ought to be a part of that. You know, look for our postings when we go to post on the social networks, because we're on all of them. When we go to post from our website, you know, pay attention to that stuff. Come down to these workshops. Come down to this training and get more advanced than you are right now. Because I'm not saying you're ignorant to nothing. I'm just saying that maybe we need to polish up and sharpen up. Right. Because these folks are just flat out taking advantage of the ignorant.
Now, Playa T, can I ask you a question? And I don't mean to cut you off, but it's becoming an epidemic with people like us who look like us are being targeted all around the world. They're being targeted all around the world. You know, they're being shot. They're being kidnapped. They're being wrongfully accused of crimes that they did not commit. Right. And people are getting off scot-free, and there's no repercussions behind 137 shots. There's no repercussions behind the Trayvon Martin case. There's no repercussions behind a man that just walked up to another Caucasian man that got shot, a college student in Florida who just got shot in his chest because he was being robbed. There's no repercussions behind these things. I mean, we're becoming extremely targeted. Right. And it's scary. Right. I mean, I think, how can we address that? Because Hollywood Chucky has a point. I think we have to be more vigilant of the people around us and more embracing, especially of the people we care for, and get involved in what's going on in their lives and be of help, and also learn. If somebody's going through something and they're around you and it's about the law and they got people helping them, keep a listening ear open. Don't talk so much. You know, keep a listening ear open. Maybe you can find something that can help you. I mean, for instance, me, like I said at the onset of the show, fresh out of jail, out on bail, California dreaming, you know, Cleveland dreaming. I mean, even me. I mean, we just got pulled over. I asked the cop. The cop says, "Sir, can you step out the car?" I said, "No." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Well, sir, you haven't properly identified yourself." I said, "I need 3 forms of ID." He said, "Well, I'm effing police, and there's my effing police card. What else you need to know?" I said, "Well, sir, you need to show me 3 forms of identification." "I don't need to show you anything." "Step out the car." "No, sir, I'm not going to step out the car." "Show me your ID." "Sir, I will show you your ID when you show me 3 forms of identification. Matter of fact, sir, can you call your supervisor?" "For what? What do you need a supervisor for?" "Because you're not carrying out the duties of a police officer." So he called the sergeant, the supervisor out. He came. And they detained the person that I was with and slammed them on the ground. And because I was filming it, I believe you still got a right to film things, right? Yeah, that's what,
number 2? I was filming it. They got upset that's number 2. And tried to break my right arm. You know, I did the LeBron James on them and switched to the left, you know, and started recording. They got even madder then and snatched me out the vehicle, seatbelt and all, and slammed me to the ground in the snow, mushed my face in the snow. You know, it didn't matter to them that I'm, helping people in neighborhoods, man.
It's
morally. They don't know, man. They don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
And then they proceeded to lock me up as though I was a criminal and an animal.
Let me ask you a question, Playa T. Now, because me and the other brother was dialoguing during the week, and we was like, well, how do you deal with somebody who has an arsenal around their waist when they approach you and they're understanding of the situation at all? They only want to dictate what's going on. They don't want to hear about what's going on. They only want to dictate what's going on, and they only want to command. How do you deal with something like that?
With personators out here, you got Cleveland police, you got Cleveland Clinic police, you got
Case.
You got Case police.
University.
You got RTA police.
You got CMHA police.
You got CMH police. You got all these, and no one identified itself. So who am I dealing with?
Who am I dealing with?
Business criminals.
Right. They're municipality. They're corporation.
Right. They're still
A lot of people may not know that the courts are a corporation.
It's a business.
It's a business. And when they do things with you, they're putting you in contract with them.
And you don't have to be in it.
And you don't have to be in it. You know, a lot of times, have you noticed if you've gone to court for certain things and you had numerous charges and you're about to go before the judge and the prosecutor wants to work out a deal, how all of a sudden now some of the charges don't matter? You know, because these folks are playing games with our lives.
The victim and the witness is prosecuted. The prosecutor is
right, the prosecutor is playing the victim and the witness. The damaged party.
And the bad part about it is, Playa T, and the bad part about it is, even if a victim don't come in, the prosecutor still charges you. Right. So if I violate somebody out here and these people don't come to court, the state is against Charles White. Right. And how is that possible? What damage have I caused against the state? See, these people are committing fraud against the United States. Right. They committed fraud against the United States. With the banks committed fraud against the people of the United States, and the police are committing fraud, and the armed forces are committing fraud against the people of the United States.
I gotta say this point. I don't understand black people today that go into those fields. I'm pretty sure they got a good heart and they maybe even feel like they can make a few changes. But I'm pretty sure when they get up there, then they get a rude awakening. There's no changing what's been in place for hundreds of years. It's just not. So I don't understand the motivation. Maybe you can help your community out in other ways. Black people have to do as a community. We have to start waking up to the racist policies of certain people, man, and racist practices of certain people, you know, and that's just real, you know. And some of the people, it's a nationality out there that a lot of people is taking a hold of that's practicing law in the courts and getting their people free, and that's the Moors. You know, I appreciate the Moors. Matter of fact, I respect all religions. It's just when you go outside of your religious principle to you know, impose on me is when I have a problem. You know, that's when I don't have a problem with the Christians. I don't have a problem with the Muslims. I don't have a problem with the Moors. I don't have a problem with anyone, you know, because I see the good in all of them. But when they go outside of their principles, because they all have good principles, it seems like, you know, Christians, hey, good Christians feed each other, take care of each other. Muslims, same thing. But for some reason, you got wars and famine and killing, and you still got 1 million churches on every street. So I don't know how effective this stuff is.
Well, you got churches on every street in the ghetto.
These guys are really, you know, getting into claiming your nationality, but even more so, they're looking into the law. That's right. You know, so I appreciate the Jews too, because those are the ones making money. So you know, I mean, you know, you got to look at them, but they practice law as well. So two of the best, you know, theologies out there, you know, the Moors and the Jews, they're into, you know, law. So is it time that we start looking into the law? I'm not saying to be a Jew or Moorish or a 5% or any of these types. I'm saying, is it time, simply time, to claim your nationality as you are and look into the law?
In hindsight, you do have to know the law, because if you do not know the law, it will be totally against you. And when you do know the law, you can play on the same playing field and you can come out better in a situation versus not knowing. Because if you're in the not knowing, then you're in the dark, and the dark is a cell. Right. You know, that's what the dark is. You know, right. It's a cell, it's a jail cell that they got for you for not knowing, for not reading. You know what I'm saying? For not knowing, for not reading, you know, and the thing about it is,
I just got off the mat.
They
got it for you.
They say that if you want a black man to not know something, put it in the book. And it's coming to pass that this thing is becoming so true about putting things in a book, and these guys can't read it. But now you got the internet, so now you can look it up on the internet when you spend all this time looking at all this twerking going on.
No, can you imagine the mind of a person that actually fought for this country?
Dub X here?
Fought for the country. Dub X is here. He fought for the country. Me and Dub X both, right? Fought for the country, right? Fought for the Constitution. Yet you got people that misuse and abuse the Constitution against you. Can you think about how that makes people feel?
Y'all fought for for our freedom, and they treat us here like we're in Afghan or we're in other places in certain situations. We got a little bit more leeway, right. But some things are beginning to be a little bit too extreme. Right. 137 shots into a car is ridiculous.
With two unarmed people.
With two unarmed people is ridiculous.
Now, let me say something of that real quick. We're going to be getting more into that, you know, because a lot of people have been wondering, you know, because we covered a few things, but not much. Because I didn't want to be a part of the hyperbole. I wanted all the facts to come out in the case before we got into it. Now, it's been taking so long and it's dying off, and we're not just going to let it die out. We're going to do some reporting on that stuff. And we're going to put it back out there and make it alive and see if we can find out what's going on with these people that were involved, man. Put a spotlight on them because it's just a travesty.